it happens that you are having 3 decimal places. If you are having 3 decimal places, let's look at this example. Having 3 decimal places, let me take an example of changing 0.385 dot dot. Mind you, when a dot is written in the beginning and in the end, it means all the numbers are repeating. Here, it means this is 3 is the same as 0.385, 385, 385. 385, 385, 385, it means the numbers are repeating. We don't put all dots. We don't put all dots on all the numbers. We just put on one number. Or rather, sometimes they are using a small line or a bar line to show that all the numbers are repeating. So you can see a line drawn like that. When you see a line drawn like that, it means all the numbers are repeating. But in most of the books, you find that points are placed in the first and the last number. So changing 0.385 into a fraction, then we follow the steps that we had from the beginning. Solution, we write here your solution, that we let x to be 0.385 dot dot, showing that the 3 numbers are repeating. Now we come back into our consideration of decimal places. 1 decimal place, 10 is the value that is corresponding to 1 decimal place. 2 decimal places, 100 is corresponding to 2 decimal places. Now we come into 3 decimal places. So 1,000 is a number that will correspond to 0.385 because we're having 3 decimal places. Each 1 decimal places is a 10. So we let x to be 0.385, and therefore because we're having 3 decimal places, then 1,000, we multiply by 1,000 left hand side and right hand side. X times 1,000 is 1,000, and 0.385 dot dot is the same as 385.385 dot dot. Okay. Now 3, 8, and 5 are repeating, and since they are repeating, when we take 1,000x minus x, this will be equal to 385.385 dot dot minus 0.385 dot dot. And this is what we are going to get. This will be 999x equals, now 385 is repeating in this side and the other side, and therefore they are slashing because 3.85.385 minus 0.385 is 385. Now, because our aim is to get value of x, then divide by 999, divide by 999, and so our x. Now we look, do we have any value that can be a factor for both, so that we may simplify this? If I divide by 3 here, 385, it ends at 36 by 12. And therefore, 25 by 3, it cannot be divisible. We cannot divide that one. And therefore, 385 over 999, you cannot further divide it. Because if I'm taking 9, for example, 9 times 3, 27 times 4, 36. 36, 25 will remain, and you cannot divide by 9 again. If I take 11, which is the factor of this, 11, putting 11 there, will be 33. 33, then will be 55, it agrees. We can simplify by 11. By 11 here will be 3, which will be 33. By 55, 11 is 5. And then 999 by 11. 999 by 11, this will be 9. The other won't agree. So the denominator is not a factor, is not a multiple of 9, is not a multiple of 11. Therefore, our answer will remain 385 over 999. Okay, so this is the lower level, or the simpler level. I can say the simple level of changing of kind of questions of changing or converting repeating decimals into fraction. Now let's move into a little bit higher level, or the second level. According to me, I'm calling it second level, and see what are we getting. Change 0.21 dot into a fraction. As far as I'm concerned, I used to call this level 2, because the way we are solving this, an extra care has to be taken. If you solve it by using the previous ways that we are moving, someone can get confused and say, because we are having two decimal places, and someone may go direct into multiplying by 100 and make a question even complicated as the person solves it. But what I'm going to do here, listen attentively, because I'm going to use 3 steps instead of 2 steps that we were using in the beginning. Follow me, please. Now, solution for this question. Let x be 0.21 dot. Remember, the value that is repeating is only 1. 0.21 is the same. This is the same as 0.21111. The 1 is going on and on and on. And therefore, we are having 2 decimal places here. But there is one important trick. If it happens that before a number that is repeating, there is a number before it, then you can multiply by a 10 instead of going direct into multiplying by 100. And follow me through this. If I multiply this by 10, I'm going to get my 10x equals to 2 point. Now here I'm going to have 1 dot, but because 1 is repeating, and up here I'm having 2 decimal places, I'm putting 2 decimal places down here, so that in my work of subtracting, the work may be easier as I move forward. But because the original question has got 2 decimal places, I'm moving again and multiply by 100 to cover or to cater the 2 decimal places that are existing. So I'll multiply again by 100 here. I'm going to get my 100x equals to, when I take my 0.21111 multiply by 100, automatically it will move from this point to this point, and my decimal place will move into between the 1 and 1. And so I'm going to get my 21.1 dot, but because I'm having 2 decimal places here, and here I'm having 2 decimal places, then I have to put 2 decimal places as well here. You will realize one thing here as we move forward. Now, because from the beginning, our work was to subtract either the first from the second, or whatever. In this case here, the reason as to why I decided to write 3 parts instead of 2 parts like the way we are used in the beginning is because I was looking for the easier possibility. So here there are 2 possibilities that we can use. There are 3 possibilities actually. We can either take the second, this is the first, this is the second expression or equation, this is the third equation. Now, if I take the second minus the first, I still can get the answer, but there is a certain complication you will later on realize. But at the same time, I can take the second or the third minus the first. But the third minus the first, you realize that this is 0.11 dot. I have to minus 0.21 dot, which to some extent may make me remain again with some decimals that I wouldn't like to have them, because it's like making the question more complicated.